Peace, love, and light. Get this thing situated. Peace, y'all. What's good with the family? On this beautiful, humid, should I add, humid Sunday. But it's a beautiful day nonetheless. All right? And we are in the building. And yeah, I just wanted to chop it up. I don't really get an opportunity to come on here too long. So today seems like it would be an ideal one of those days that we get to tap in and chop it up. Come on, man. It's baking where I'm at. I don't know if it's 100 degrees, but it almost feels like it. But what we not gonna do, we not gonna complain about the heat. You know what I'm saying? What we not gonna do, we not gonna complain about the heat. You feel me? We're gonna embrace the heat. You know, it's like, what are we willing to accept? We don't want it to be too cold, and we don't want it to be too hot. So it's like, why should we be in the middle ground? Or why do you think that it's your promise for you to be in the middle ground? And even though they say these are the dog days of summer, and they'll tell you, yo, this happens every year, right? But we haven't got any better. We haven't prepared for it. And I think that people's uncomfortability during summer heat time has everything maybe to do with the diet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not finna get up here and be pointing fingers and telling you what you should be doing versus what you shouldn't. I don't want to castigate anybody for how you live your life. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, like, at one point, what are we going to stop complaining about and embrace to be like, oh, today is a great day. It's an amazing day. Thank the Lord. Like, when are we going to be thankful? You know what I'm saying? So, if anything, that's probably, like, what my message overall is going to be. What are we thankful of? Do we take stock on things that we're thankful of? And the things that we're thankful for and of, does that get the same amount of time as the things that we complain about that we really can't change? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what, once again, the good book, right? If we're to find anything good about the good book, we have to extract things from it that resonate with us, that make sense. The things that we can look at and then look in reality and be like, oh, okay, that made a lot of sense because I see it. You know what I'm saying? It's relatable. I can make sense of it because it's in my reality. Right? So, if nothing else, you feel me? Those things that are integral that we can look at and be like, I find truth in that. I find a connection in that. That ain't nothing but the truth. Those are the things that we should stand on. Right? What we don't, or not we, I'm not French. What I don't hear enough of, right? And this is, again, no indictment to anybody else. If you don't hear something, maybe that means that you should be the one, you know what I'm saying, either saying it or adding on to it. But I'll say in society, I don't hear enough, especially now, of corroborating evidence and information that speaks to the fact that we are in the times of revelation. And if that's the fact, identifiable by measurements of time and incidents, right? If that's the fact, if we are indeed in times of revelation, why do you think, right, that the weather will be normal? Why do you think that it wouldn't be hot, right? If you are not necessarily going to bear the brunt of the fire and brimstones, at least learn how to live with the fact that the temperature had to go up a few notches, right? Because the purification has to take place by fire. Okay? And people, once again, they'll tell me, oh, this happens every single year. No, it intensifies every single year. And the fact that we are now in what's called the solar maximum, and the sun is definitely, the sun is on one. The sun got a whole nother energy on it. It got a whole nother attitude. It's kicking out a whole nother output. You feel me? Don't say that this is what happens every year. This is different. This is different. And we could bear witness to this and say this is considerably different, right? And it's not so much about the heat as much as it's about the radiation. You feel me? And it's also not only about as much as the heat or the radiation, but one should take a eye, yes, the solar blazing, one should take an eye and look at where these casualties are happening. So the strategic places where people are dying to heat exhaust, right, are the same places, coincidentally, that we were entangled with. Okay, let's go back here. 1493. 1493. I'm going to give y'all a drip digest today because it's important. It's important. I put something together real special for y'all. 1493. When they found us on the continent, we have flavor, right? We already knew about symbolism. We already knew about symmetry. We already knew about geometry. We already knew about art. You feel me? We was already students. We already knew the concept of what the B represented. We knew the science of the hexagon. You feel me? We knew how to look. The Nesubitis, they old. That's from 3,000, 3,500 somewhat years ago. And there was information that we had that was pre-dynastic. I'm talking about ancient information. You feel me? Ancient information. And we do this in our sleep. We do this in our sleep. You feel me? We do this in our sleep. So this is just who we naturally are. I know y'all don't see the G, y'all don't see the gold in there. You know, this is just naturally what we do. And somebody had the nerve in 1493 to come into your peace and disturb your peace when you already had this shit figured out. You were not running around the planet attempting to figure things out. You were not, demystified as to whether the earth was flat or round. You was in paradise. You was enjoying your peace. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Yes, salute to His Imperial Majesty, right? His born day was yesterday. Salute to His Imperial Majesty, and his born day signals the beginning of Leo season, right? So we are in Leo season, hence the fact that I'm adorned in the gold and black because I'm paying homage to the sun, right? It's Sunday. We gotta acknowledge the Father. You feel me? So 1493, yes. And the sun is blazing. Daddy is back. Daddy's home. Feel me? And he came with spankings for his children had been out of order, tearing the crib up, messing up his mansion. Yes. His lion's gates are a gate to a lion's mansion. Those are just the gates. Those are just the gates. But the gates take you to a winding road, and that winding road brings you to a mansion. A mansion. His castle is his woman. That's Virgo. That's Virgo. That's his mansion. Right? Think about it. Even in Hebrew, they have Aleph Bet. Beth is house. Beth is the wisdom. It's the feminine. It's the house. She represents the temple. She's physicality. She is the matter. Nigga, you only a king if you got a queen. And you build a castle around her. And you only a king if you could get coronated by your mama, which is Cancer. We just left Cancer. That was mother. Leo is king. He can only become king by way. He can only be the procession of his mother's matrilineal. And she coronates you. And then you defend the thing that you build your kingdom around, which is your castle, which is your queen, which is your woman. Right? And then it goes from Virgo into Libra, where the investigation or the analyzation, you analyze that relationship or those contracts, right? Those contracts that stipulates that relationship is what you do a self-audit, and then you put it on the scales of Ma'at, and if it does not weigh out, then it dies in Scorpio or transmutes itself and becomes age and wisdom in Sagittarius, right? You can't be a king without a queen. Astrologically, I'm explaining to you how this shit is set up. Don't come with your philosophies, my nigga. I'm telling you the cosmic sciences. The shit was set up in the cosmos for a reason. And that's the problem, see? And these times were foreseen that, you know, everybody's going to want to come and change this shit. It's like, no, you're fighting to bring it back. Look, matter of fact, let me not tell you what you're fighting for. Let me not make that mistake, because these are some new children that have come from different quadrants of space that we have never interacted with. So I don't know who some of you niggas is. I don't. But I'm just saying, for us that are looking to restore cosmic order, then the cosmic order has to go back into the order in which the cosmos ordered it. And what I just explained, I gave you a whole motherfucking cosmic narrative of this story that takes place in the cosmic canopy that's above us, that spins like a cosmic wheel forever to this day. And the only thing that changes is the actors, but never the script. Right? At least that's what I understand, right? And I do not know it all. So I'm only telling you what it could be. You know, there's newer people on the planet with newer information. Maybe my shit is outdated. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the new mandate is a king supposed to find himself a king. Maybe I'm fucking late to the party. I don't know. But from what I know, as an old head from the old school, right? Let me show you, I got some grades, nigga. I've been around for a little while, right? Been around for a little while. And from what I remember, that's just the way that the shit went. You couldn't be running around here saying that you were king if your mommy was like, nah, nigga, that ain't what it is, right? Because technically nobody's supposed to know you more than your mama. And you got to get that cosign from her. She coronates you as the king. And then you go and you build your castle, or your proverbial kingdom is built around your castle, meaning your queen, right? Did anybody play chess? Do you remember how chess plays? Like, that's the most important piece on the board. It's the queen. And, you know, look, yeah, the men is different. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even saying that I have not had all of the answers. Feel me? I've made many choices in life that have led to alternative realities. So, again, I'm just observing the dynamic, right? And I'm seeing the way that they're stacking the deck. I'm seeing the way that the cosmos is throwing up alley-oops. You feel me? And the shit is ending up like, y'all remember Patrick Ewing in the finals? Let's see how old some of y'all is, or how seasoned, because you ain't got to be old to know this information, right? You could have been born 10 years ago but studied all the greats. My nephew knows all of this information. He's 13. So remember Patrick Ewing in the finals, right? He blew the championships on a layup. He couldn't get in on the finger roll. He tried to be fancy with a finger roll, and he caused the Knicks a championship. Right? So the universe is setting up alley-oops, and niggas is missing the layups, right? And causing the entire championship. Because there's different generations, and because of that, like, I think that we all have different visions and outlooks about where this thing is possibly going. You feel me? Where this thing is possibly going. So, in my purview, I'm like, all right, we lasted long enough to go from a Piscean age, right? People such as myself that was able to live through this, that's a badge of honor within itself. The fact that I could even say I got some motherfucking gray hair, right? Or silver hair for that matter, that's a badge of honor. Because niggas did not make it. They did not make it, bro. They did not make it. I am a 1%er where I come from. I'm a 1%er. A 1%er. Meaning that only 1% of people made it out from where I'm from. One. Maybe less. Right? Maybe less. Especially to be on the stage at my age, doing what I'm doing in the way that I'm doing it. No, I superseded like 1 million people that I grew up with. They're not here anymore. They're not in the game. They're either alive but not playing the game to the fullest capacity, or they're no longer here in the physical, or they're incarcerated, or they're slave to a plantation. You know what I'm saying? But free, able to think their own thoughts, to formulate their own thoughts, to have a new thought, to affect thought, to be considered a thought leader. I'm a 1%er. I'm a 1%er. And I don't take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because every time that we kick a door in, every time that we, you know what I'm saying? Every time that we cock a gat back and aim and get ready to knock somebody's head off, it's in the spirit of the homies, of the dead homies that are not here. You know what I'm saying? That did not persevere in the race. You know what I'm saying? And not here to see this thing today. And again, my people is not my ops or my enemies. We have a clear, identifiable op. And we not identifying the op for who the op is or what the op is. But let me go back to the narrative. In 1493, right? When you was at a high civilization, and I'm going to show you, not through speculation, that you were at a high civilization. Somebody who was inferior, right, to where you was at, and your civility had the nerve to come amongst you, right, and run down on you with technology that you had not yet seen. And them niggas had the monkeypox, right? So they had two forms of technology that you got blindsided with. You had gunpowder, and them niggas had monkeypox, right? They had a disease that was transmutable and transmittable by touch, and just by our people inhaling the nastiness of these motherfuckers started killing our people wholesale. Monkeypox is a form of smallpox. Remember they put smallpox in the blanket? Right? Remember they put smallpox in the blanket. These the same people that was running around spreading syphilis that you can only get from having sex with goats or sheep. So one of them shits, it don't matter. It don't matter. Right? A mutton butt is a mutton butt, nigga. Whatever mutton it is, nigga. Right? Those people, how could you come so motherfucking filthy with a Bible, though, and tell me that cleanliness is next to godliness, but you was the filthiest thing on the fucking planet, that somebody will come into contact with you and lose their life? To this day. To this day. But these are the same people who would have the nerve to pick a goddamn Bible up and try to tell you something about religion. Or try to tell you something about spirituality. Or try to tell you something even more about cleanliness. Nastaghfirullah. You have to call the hypocrisy out when you see it. This is the only thing that's going to keep you sane. Right? So, in 1493, okay, they leave where they're at and they come over here because it's the first time that they have access to the sea. Right? Well, 1492, we know when the Moors fell on January 1st in the shores of Grenada, right? In the Iberian Peninsula, which was in Spain, and Ferdinand and Isabella were present, and they gave Christopher Columbus his marching orders to now go into the land of paradise, or what's called milk and honey, which was off limits to the Europeans when the Moors were seafaring, you want to call them pirates, right? You want to call them pirates, you want to call them whatever you want to call them. They were holding back pestilence. They was holding back disease. They was holding back all of the things that Europe eventually brought over here was being held back by the Moors. The Moors did not just go into the Iberian Peninsula and, run a rope around them people in Europa to keep them in because of their pestilence or because of their decivilized nature. They kept them off the sea from spreading that shit around the world. Right? So in 1493, Pope Alexander VI, on May 4th, 1493, issued a papal bull called the Untitled Chapter. And the Untitled Chapter split the world into two. And they gave one side to Spain and they gave the other side to Portugal. Okay? And they gave them the papal bull called the Untitled Chapter, or was called the Doctrine of Discovery. And this was the marching orders that the church, the Pope himself, gave to the state to do war on behalf of the name of Christ, searching for heathens and Saracens, which is code words for Moors. And they said that anywhere that you will encounter them in the new world and they do not adhere to or come under the name of Jesus Christ, then you should take their land by force, right? And you should kill them and subjugate them until they break. And that's what the fuck happened to this day. Okay? But when they came over here, I want to show you what they encountered. I want to show you the high civilization that was present when they got here. Right? They could front and tell you whatever they want. Right? Cocksuckers, we do the research. You can't tell that to me. Right? I've been these places. You can't tell that to me. You can tell it to them, but you can't tell it to me. You feel me? I've been to some of these locations. And then I've researched a lot of the other ones. And then now, because I'm following spirit, I guess, accompanied by the fact that a lot of other people in this community are leading the charge, because I'm not even leading the charge in this conversation, right? There's this whole discussion about where we from, right? And a lot of people are taking stocks and calling themselves foundational Black Americans. And a lot of people are taking stock and calling themselves indigenous and autochthonous and all of these things, right? Which is all amazing. That's beautiful. That's cool. My whole thing is like, can we extract the culture that was here? What was here, right? What was here that we could tap into? What were the warrior deities and entities? What was the spirit that was here? Do you know that the spirit of the Americas is called Wakanda? Do you understand that the spirit, the spiritual deity, the force that's in the land of this place is called Wakanda? So while the people are getting ready to be entertained by Black Panther 2 on 11/11/22, They thought that they were slick throwing them 44s in there, knowing damn well that Chadwick Boseman is a 44 resonator. Case in point. Case in point. Chadwick's very first film, very first one, number one, his introduction, first one. He played Floyd Little, number 44, on Syracuse in a movie called Express. Right? And Floyd Little died 4 months and 44 days after Chadwick Boseman died. Chadwick Boseman died April 28th, I believe, 2020. And then Floyd Little died January 1st, 2021. Setting up it to be a 44 year. And that's when Hank Aaron died right after that. Number 44 for the Braves. And then the Braves won the series later on that year with all them 44s in it. God damn it. Stop playing with me. And it's 440. So let's go and see and not take for granted, since so many people is entertaining movies, right? Let's see what the reality of this land was. Who were your ancestors? What were they responsible for here in the Americas? Because nobody's going to tell you the truth. This is what these people encountered when they came over here. High civilization, empires. Okay? So this right here, we're not even going to get into this, right? This is what flipped the game on top of his head. By way of New Orleans, 1803, right? When they grabbed Louisiana from Napoleon, they got what was called the Napoleonic Code. This keeps getting my live shut down, so I hope somebody's taping this, because every time I talk about this part that they want to hide, this one they clip these lives. There's certain shit that they just don't want to get out. And of course, we know about contracts, we know about maritime, but nobody's saying, oh, this is all being run out of the Archdiocese of New Orleans in New York, right? The New York Archdiocese ties it to Rome, and the New Orleans Archdiocese ties it to Napoleon. And that's how they're able to do what they're doing with commercial code, with UCC, overlaid over what's called common law or ecclesiastic law, tied into the church or tied into Rome by way of the goddamn Archdiocese of New York. Okay? Yeah, you can't at me, trust me. There will be no atting, ever. They're not ever going to give me my at back after this. Okay? So, you know, we could talk about contract law all day. That's cute. But this right here, this is what I want to talk about. The Illustrated Encyclopedia of Native American Mounds and Earthworks. You're going to get this work today. Okay? Yes. So we'll show you even why Seven Hills, which is Rome, is called. They're invested into the mounds here, right? Because they are the city of Seven Hills. That is the etymology of what Rome itself means. If you do not understand mound culture, if you do not understand pyramid culture as it spans the globe, if you do not understand the mathematics of 19.5, if you don't understand these mathematical codes, my nigga, you are lost in the sauce. You feel me? Do you have no idea what's going on? In a holistic sense, like the totality of it, not just bits and pieces, because a lot of people got bits and pieces. Give me the whole fucking picture already, okay? Our people, right? Introduction. We could get into all of this. We're always going to find feathers wherever we go, right? Hence the fact that you always see us in carnival, diasporically. What's the thing this mandated and standard with us? God damn it. Okay. My thing got froze, right? Drawings of winged serpents from pottery designs found in Moundville, Alabama. Shout out to the Alabama. Shout out to the Mobile family. You know what I'm saying? I got all of this extra energy on me because I passed through Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Right? And I tapped into them spirits and brought some of that back. So shout out to the Mobile, Alabama family. We're going to get this right. We're going to get this right. Right? This is the Birdman. This is found in Etowah Mound here in Georgia. Right? The Birdman was a main motif of all Georgian civilizations. Let's speak about it. Right? Birdman, a falcon dancer. Okay? In 1885, John Rogan, maybe related to Joe Rogan, cocksucker, recovered 2 brass plate figures depicting what is long thought to be warriors or clan members dressed as birdmen. Known as the Rogan plates, they were removed from a stone chamber burial at Etowah Mounds in Georgia. Okay? The plate's origin has been traced to Cahokia. Shout out to my family that's in Missouri. Shout out to the family that's in St. Louis. I will explain to you what's taking place, right? The Mississippi culture, the Mississippi Empire that goes all the way down from New Orleans, goes all the way up into Missouri. The reason why your place is called St. Louis is because of the St. Louis Cathedral that's found at the foothills of New Orleans, the oldest cathedral in this country, named after King Louis or King Louis the Sixth, I believe. So that's why you niggas is named Missouri St. Louis. And that's why the ark is there, because the ark represents the twin pillars and the ark gateways that the whole goddamn Mississippi has to come down. Mimicking Egypt over there, right? But it's really talking about Egypt over here. And they're really talking about these people right here, okay? The Birdman symbol, also called the Falcon Dancer, and some variations of the motif has been found on artifacts from Spiro, Oklahoma. From a wide range of Mississippian sites, several variations of the symbol have emerged. These include one depicting a birdman with a mouth, several heads, stars, the game of chunky, and more. They have long been accepted as depictions of actual warriors or various clans celebrating or preparing for war. They often depict warriors dressed as hawks or falcons. Do I gotta go and get the Heru shit right now for y'all? Do I gotta go and get some items? Like, because I had some Heru drip on earlier, but let me go back. They are actually images showing the cosmic struggle between life and death, with important characters and their legends depicted. These do not sound like primitive people. These do not sound like heathens to me. These do not sound like pagans to me. This sounds like exactly Atlanta or Atlantis knew exactly what it was tapping into when it aligned itself with the Phoenix / Heru Falcon energy. Right? Which I keep telling you, look, the Ku Klux Klan is a esoteric occult organization, Masonic in origin. Stop falling for the ruse, my niggas. Okay? Stop falling for the ruse of some white boys with hoods on, riding around with horses, hanging niggas. That's the end result of a ritual. What do they know about this land? What are they tapping into in this particular land that's part of their quote-unquote secrets? Let's go back. The figures display the actual costumes worn by the elite during rituals and ceremonies. The costumes show the elite's connection to the upper world and were displays of their power and authority. The rituals were a magical way that elite members of tribes will control the society. Elite members, secret of tribes, will control the society. So this is even where they get their secret societies from. Right? The Rogan plates found at Etowah. Yes, these are what they call quote-unquote Mayans. But this is all the history of the hero twins. Right? I think there they go right there. Right? Here go the above eagles. Copper pendant. Look at that copper pendant. That shit is drip. They found out in Alabama. What's the book? The Illustrated Encyclopedia of Native American Mounds and Earthworks. Okay? So stop letting them tell you that, oh, you know, we brought Jesus over here and the people needed it because they was heathens, you know, and y'all actually should be thanking us because every time that we found you, you guys were like living in sub conditions and, you know, you guys are savages and you eat hearts and okay, motherfucker. Explain to me the fact that you encountered high civilization everywhere that you went. You feel me? Explain to me. Make it make sense. These people had their own cosmology. They had their own understanding. You know what I'm saying? They were doing very well without you. And you came and you did what you did everywhere. You subjugated people and you forced yourself upon them. Right? With your low-level society, your knowledge of nothing has put the fucking planet in peril because you forced yourself into a leadership position before your time when you were not qualified. Now, just see if you can envision what this looks like in terms of civilization and culture and people minding their fucking business and living their lives on the plains or wherever they at. You feel me? All they can show you nonstop is culture, 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 culture. They can't even go to Europe and show you none of that. Because all that shit is ours. Serpent Mound, right? Society, culture, people that were a high civilization, right? Where you find mounds at. This is high society. You feel me? Mounds are signs of intelligence everywhere on the planet and off the planet. Right? Kemet started with a mound. Feel me? Look at these mounds, yo. Look at these earthworks. Shout out to the Ohio family. We're going to be back in Ohio soon. But before I'm in Ohio, we're going to be in Richmond. And we're going to go on some mound tours out there. But I can't wait to get back to Ohio. I love going to Newark Earthworks. And I love going to Serpent Mound. That's my shit right there. Feel me? There's no shadow of a doubt. If you've ever been to Serpent Mound, you know that these niggas is 1,000 times more intelligent than any goddamn colonizer. You feel me? You know that they already had it figured out. Their lifestyle has been disrupted, just as our lifestyle has been disrupted. And I'm saying it's by time that you tell these motherfuckers, look, just leave me alone. Let me get back to living. Let me restore my culture. Right? Let me fulfill my mandate. They say that I came here to know myself, goddammit. Get out my way, get out my face. You feel me? And you might want to lay low. Right? Because them fire and brimstones is coming. So, again, you know, I don't think it's a coincidence even knowing all of this and sharing this information that we turn around and we turn the TV on and again, where the heat waves are at, okay? Where the heat waves are at, where they're torching them, is in Spain and Portugal, okay? It's in Spain and Portugal, the two places that were given dominion over the planet by the Pope Alexander VI, on May 4th, 1493. It was called the Papal Bull, the Inter Caetera. Google it, or just Google Doctrine of Discovery. Google that shit. You want your mind blown? You want your mind blown? You really want to do something about white supremacy? Alleged white supremacy? You really want to do something about that shit? Go research the doctrine of discovery. So you will understand when they be like, Columbus discovered this. Understand the language. You so quick to talk to your TV and be like, he didn't discover nothing. There were people over here. Nigga, you missing the point. It's a reason they're using the language discovery. It's in the doctrine. Go figure it out. So you can really wrap your mind around what's taking place. And we can stop firing at moving targets or things that don't even have a target on them. And we can stop this argument about who came from here on a boat or who was here when the people on the boat got here. God damn it. Both of you got hit over the head by the church. Both of you got lied to. They stole both of your birthrights, nigga, and your tongues, and your culture, and your fortunes, and your woman. So stop all this quarreling amongst yourself. You have who's identifiable on the planet right now. And you ignoring them because you want to go for all of the low-hanging fruit and the shit that's gonna produce no fucking results, right? And be arguing amongst yourself. All of this motherfucking dick measuring that's taking place. Nigga, you not a man until you man up, and you know who the op is. Nigga. Right? You don't? Not yet? After all that research? After all them documentaries? We still don't know who the op is, huh? Okay. Alright. So like I said, the cosmos, because the niggas won't step into place to do what's needed to be done, right? To enact some level of cosmic retribution or balance, the universe got to show up and do what the fuck the universe is doing, because niggas want to bury their head in the sand as if there's not a real life conflict taking place. You know what I'm saying? That requires their attention and their input and their voice, the power of the word, right? You could chant down Babylon. Why? Because it's holding on by the thinnest of threads right now. And every time that you introduce a transmutable truth to the people, it punches a hole in the fabric of whatever these people got holding this shit together. Whatever thin-ass veil that they have on these people that's operating as a spell. Every time somebody comes with more and more information to just show how greater and greater and greater we are, we get larger and larger and larger. And their shit gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And it's falling. I can see it. I can see it. I know what I'm looking at. So if I'm over here just a little too turned up for you, you know what I'm saying? Just understand that my brain is just operating different. My eyes connect to my brain. And the way that my brain is processing reality right now is different. I see different shit. Right? I'm seeing different shit. And I'm like, yo, there's really, really, really power in the word. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can really, really, really utilize our conviction, our truth. You know, the power that's in the sword that you yield. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was reading about the esoteric aspects of Christ, and you know niggas they break every word down, so they's like, sword, you know, the code word, the codex for sword is sacred word, and I like that. And then they said, yo, Jesus is gonna come back with a sword dripping with blood, and the blood is the truth and the sword is the tongue. So if you speak truth now, in this age of where this weak ass falsehood is at the forefront, attempting to position itself like it's gonna hold something down. It's like, no. Like, no, just be truth. Just speak it. Just be it. Just live it. You feel me? And this shit will start falling to pieces. It cannot stand up against truth. It cannot stand in the same place as truth. It cannot cohabitate with truth. It has run its course. But truth is like wind. And the falsehood is like a dandelion. So it's like when you start blowing the wind and the dandelion starts scattering, you feel me? Then you know that we are in them times. Know that we in them times. Look, y'all. Those with eyes shall see. Look at this shit going on. Right? They're running out of a nigga. They getting beat up cosmically, bro. You feel me? Yeah. The UK is sweltering. Again, don't tell me this happens every year. If they saying, yo, this the hottest it ever been. If they saying that, yeah, I know people die every year when the sun gets active during the dog days. It happens. You know? But what I'm seeing right now is just it's unprecedented. And it speaks again to a cosmic order. You know? And the ushering of a new day. You know what I'm saying? It's the ushering of a new day. Whatever that means. Whatever that means. Whatever that means. I got a new book. I can't wait to get into. Right? Don't get in your feelings about the cover. I ain't write it. You know what I'm saying? But this should be a good one. Because these got some names and stuff. You feel me? Now, again. Yeah. Fire's going to cleanse the earth. So, you find out who the angels are that's responsible, right, for bringing fire and brimstones. Because they never said what angels were responsible for bringing fire and brimstones. Right? Find out what angels. Find out what archangels they are. Right? And if you niggas need to go into Goetia, go into Goetia and find out what them names are. Right? But it's time to start directing the energy. Even, again, look, I tell niggas in a minute, bro. I live in my imaginarium. Right? I was given permission. I was allowed to make up my own rituals. That's what Bobby told me a long time ago. Babe, you got any Bobby shirts? Bobby told me this a long time ago. Look, I'm going to let y'all in on the Bobby game because there's no need to keep the Bobby game to myself. Right? Got some Bobby drip for you. You hit up the website. Shout out to Bobby. Because we all know that we be on our Bobby Hemmett and chill, right? You know, Bobby, y'all all right? Y'all be in the crib, Bobby Hemmett and chilling? Y'all be Bobby Hemmett? You should try it. You should try to binge on some Bobby. Right? Get you a Bobby Bay. Binge on some Bobby. Yeah, Bobby Hemmett. CosmicDust.com. Y'all can get your own, surprise her. You feel me? She into Bobby and shit. She would never expect it. She'd be like, oh, this nigga's listening. This nigga's listening. Damn right. Got you your Bobby drip. Oh, I got another one. It was real exciting. We got colors too. Look, Bobby Hemmett and chill. Oh. Y'all all right? All right. Somebody said, bro said, too bad ya ain't that's enthusiastic about African culture, spirituality, nigga, are you serious? Are you serious? You want to do this? My guy, let me make a formal introduction to you, right? I have been arduously and painstakingly, with the best of my abilities, to split myself in half, right? To embrace both aspects of our culture and to merge them in a way that is this organic and responsible enough that I can pay homage, show reverence, engage and participate, you know what I'm saying, in a culture that I'm not physically part of right now, right? I may have some ancestral memory of it. I do everything that I can with what I can to tap in, right? As much as I can do, bro. But I have a responsibility as well over here. I have two hemispheres of my brain, and we are dual hemispheric people. You know what I'm saying? And I don't identify with the term African American, but let's say that that's our designation. I have a responsibility to unearth the mysteries and the lies that were told to me about my American history, and I have a duty to do the same for my African history. And I have to find, with no aid and assistance, because they don't have no school for this, they don't have institutions for this, right? And very few master teachers teach it like this, to say, okay, you have to find a way to merge both of those realities in this life and make the shit make sense. While you got your feet in North America and your fucking mind is all the way on the continent of Africa, nigga, you got to be presently present, though. So you better figure that shit out quick. You better figure it out quick. Okay? The nerve. I went to the UK. Shout out to my brother Keys, because he can qualify the statement. Okay? We went to the UK and ran into family from the continent who thanked us. They said that we taught them more about the continent and they're from the continent. Now, let me qualify that, right? Because just like with us, we are not a monolithic people, meaning that we can study ancient American history, and it's not just going to be one story or one narrative. They said that there was 500 nations when they got here with this mound culture. None of the nations when they got here said that they were responsible for the mound culture. Do you understand that? None of the 500 nations when they got here said that they was responsible for the mound culture. They said that it was here at least 10,000 years before they got here. That's how old we are. Look at these mounds, right? Look at these mounds. Look how thick this book is, bro. Right? Look how thick this book is. So I have a responsibility, right, to the fact that I'm physically here and I'm looking to tap into whatever is available that I can utilize to fortify myself to do battle against inequities and principalities in high places. Right? So please say, oh, I wish you was this enthusiastic about African spirituality and traditions. My brother, I am. Right? And I am working arduously to figure out a through line between both so we can revere them equally. Okay? So we can revere them equally. Okay? So every time that we look at ourselves in whatever corner of the planet, when I look at myself as an Aborigine, right? I feel a sense of reverence and pride and strength. When I look at myself on the plains of the Serengeti, I feel the same way. When I see myself in the mountains where the Berbers is at, I can identify that strength as well. When I look on the Appalachian Plains, when I look to the Mississippi, I should be able to see the same thing. Wherever I'm at, right? Wherever we are, we should see ourselves as the progenitors of that civilization, and we should see that there's strength. Okay? Even if your truth and your power is buried in a shallow grave, it could be right next to you. And you feel that you don't got access to it because you just haven't figured out how to dig it out of the grave and dust it off. Right? It could be right next to you, and you demonize it because somebody told you that the dirt was bad. So now you're scared of dirt, like you're scared of everything else. You feel me? So yeah, bro, again, because I don't know who that is, and you might just be popping in. But yeah, I don't make that distinction where I'm like, yo, it's only this and it's not that. No, it has to be both. It has to be both and more, because the earth ain't enough, right? We having all of this back and forth conversation about our terrestrial origins, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but what about our celestial origins? That's a whole nother conversation. And while we're getting caught up in this conversation here about the terrestrial thing, after thousands of years, somebody's going to slip in, and it's going to be a whole nother conversation overnight. And then black and white is going to be forced to come together dealing with the grays. You see how they played that? The grays going to make you black and whites come together. Bet that. Here, they go to cover. The Illustrated Encyclopedia of Native American Indian Mounds and Earthworks. Book is heavy as shit. All right. So let's look at Cahokia. Again, if we minimize the narrative down to where it can make sense, right? We had a Mississippian culture, a Mississippian empire that, just like we had in Kemet along the Nile, here in the Americans, our empire, okay, was located along the Mississippi. All right. If you trace the Mississippi all the way down from New Orleans or Louisiana, where the empires were at as well, you could trace them all the way up to Missouri. This is Cahokia. This is in Illinois, right? Missouri, where the Ark is at. Okay. St. Louis, Missouri is named St. Louis based on the St. Louis Cathedral that you can find in New Orleans. This is the oldest church in this country, the oldest cathedral, and it was burnt down 3 times already, right? It is the Vatican in the Americas, as well as St. Patrick Cathedral on 51st and 5th Avenue. Right? So, yes, so we'll be bringing this information in this demonstration, as well as a bunch of other things in Richmond, in the Rich Mound, right? We're coming to the Rich Mound of Virginia, all right, in August. Again, to stand on our truth.
President still acting unpresidential. Bitch, I'm in the Bronx with the evil in my residential. It was all emojis, it was never mental. Red summer.
Yeah.
Red Scorpion. Red summers. The president still acting unpresidential. Bitch, I'm in the Bronx with the evil in my residential. It was all emojis, it was never mental. Red summer. Yeah. Red residential. It was all emojis, it was never mental.
Give me 1 second.
Red summer. Red, Scorpion. Red summers. The president still acting unpresidential. Bitch, I'm in the Bronx with the evil in my residential. It was all emojis, it was never mental.
Alright, my bad. The Return of the Gods is next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I think the first day, Friday, the meet and greet, they will also be doing this MC challenge. That's going to be at our venue at the Royal Chamber in Buckhead here in Atlanta. Hold on, let me find this thing. Give me 1 second, y'all. Shit. Alright, yeah. The Return of the Gods. We have this contest that's taking place right now. You can enter your 8 or 16 bars and get on this song that is going to be the theme song for the Return of the Gods. All right. So you can get more details about this offering at the returnofthegodsent.com. Right. returnofthegodsent.com. If you are an aspiring artist, you know, and you got what it takes, this is an opportunity for you. This a rare one, but it's a heavyweight one. It's a cash prize, and the visibility factor, you know, being part of something monumental and hitting that stage and get in front of them people, you know, you can't buy that. You can't purchase that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't put a price on that. So please, y'all, rise to the occasion. No opportunity when you see it and seize it. You know, carpe diem. You feel me? Like, really, really seize the day. You know? Yeah, y'all, seize the day. Trying to find something. Right? We spoke on this scripture earlier, and I want to revisit this because this is so key. Right? This is so key. And this is a deep one. So this is 1 Corinthians 7:24. Right? Of course, today's 7:24. So that's how we interpret scripture. We go into the day. That's the daily bread. Right? So in Corinthians it says, brothers are as each person as responsible to God should remain in the situation they were in when God called them. How do y'all interpret that? Right? Because, you know, like when you be living your life and you be doing whatever you be doing, right? And then something happens and you really, really need God, or you need that aspect of spirit force or that whatever principle that you go to that you're looking for some level of relief from, you're very forgiving, you're very humble, you know, you're very much in need, and you got a whole nother energy on you when you ask for that miracle to come through. I'm speaking from personal experience. You know what I'm saying? And then that blessing comes through, and then you start acting cute again. You know what I'm saying? You start acting cute again. You start humming stunting. So, you know, that particular scripture in Corinthians was about, you know, God gonna need you to be where you was at when you needed his help the most, right? Stop becoming so forgetful. You feel me? Stop forgetting. Stop putting down your shield and your sword. You know what I mean? And just going back on the battlefield, think that you're gonna take a stroll. Like, no. You know, you still engaged in something that requires your focus and your attention and your intention. Not only your attention, but your intention. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So the Real Family Reunion is taking place next Strong In and ATL. right? In Atlanta, Georgia. Some amazing dynamic people are going to be on that stage. Iyaza Van Sant, Londrell, Kateria Knows, her sister Herb Alchemist, her king. You know what I'm saying? And there's other people involved. It's going to be a dope event. You know what I mean? It's going to be a dope event. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. You know, and it's going to slap. And then we're doing the after parties. You know, we'll have the Royal Chamber will be open. You know what I'm saying? On the after nights for the after sets. Oh, let me not say that. That's another word. That means something else in Atlanta. Not an after set. We don't serve alcohol. It's non-alcoholic. But, you know, we're going to be doing music. We're going to have food, non-alcoholic beverages. You know what I'm saying? And just a beautiful high energy atmosphere. You know what I mean? So I definitely invite you all to engage in that. That's going to be dope. All right? But what do y'all think about this one? This is from Exodus. This is Exodus 7:24. Then all the Egyptians dug along the riverbank to find drinking water, for they couldn't drink the water from the Nile. All right? So think about that. Think about that in respects to, you know, your ability to to access resources. You feel me? Think about that. Think about how precious a commodity water is. Shout out to my brothers, Soul Society, NC. Shout out to Moonjug. You know, there's a bunch of other people in the community, Live Water. There's a lot of other people who are doing water in real time. Shout out to Goldwater. You know? We were always a people who understood the importance of water. We built all of our civilizations next to water for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And when it all comes down to it, it's all going to come down to water. Again, right? We're entering the age of the water barrel. You know what I'm saying? We're entering the age of the water barrel. So let me show you some more images. Do not trip on the ethnicity of the characters that they show you in these depictions. You know what I'm saying? We already know what time it is. But yeah, this is Mound Society civilizations in the Americas, right? Pyramid civilizations, right? They say depictions of the mound, 72 sacrifice, right? They're saying that they sacrificing people and dumping them in mass graves. This is the only way that they're capable of thinking about society, right? Their eyes are attached to their heads. So everything that they see is derived from how their brain works. So this is the only thing that they just be focused on, sacrifice and mass ritual sacrifice and shit like that, as if these people is not the beast of all beasts. How they know what the hell these people is into? They got to go straight to the sacrifice? Come on now. Anyway, look at the civilization. You feel me? I want to see a lot more. Let me stop talking. It's just, you know, beautiful. Let's just look at the beauty in it. What you mean about the water dose, Aisha? I want to answer that question. I just need to understand it better. Civilizations. Right? Archaeological reconstruction of angel mounds. Right? So this angel mound is in Indiana. I hope Akibalon, if you on this, right? We're going to need you to tap into the angel mound. Angel mounds, complex the Mississippian culture, right? What water barrel, the water barrel or the water barrel? The age of Aquarius is the age of the water bearers. I don't know. Water barrel. Yeah. But these were the depictions of, again, these ancient civilizations of ours, who occupied the Americas before the colonizer got here, bringing his downstairs version of religion to the world. Right? That confuses everything. You can't even speak about science in a practical manner because it's confused by religion, by the fantasy, the mythologies. You can't even speak like grown folk. Right? Where these people, their cosmology and their understanding of their relationship with their creator was built into their society, and it was practical because it was operable. It actually worked. This was something that was sustainable for them, and it was an open acknowledgement of their true dominion or relationship with the land. They were not landlords. They didn't have dominion over the land where it was a forceful relationship. They were the stewards of the land, right? You understand that you cannot own the land, right? This is a privilege that you have been endowed with, okay? And they're showing that they are willing and able to work with the land to express not only their understanding of their relationship with it, and not only their reverence of it, but also, as custodians of the land. Like when you build pyramidal structures on the 19.5 pyramid line across that wraps around not only this planet, but they find the 19.5 pyramid line on other planets as well, such as Mars and Saturn and all of them, the moons and all of that stuff. So when you become a earth keeper, shout out to my brother Raz Ben, my peace, love, and light, and condolences with you and your family. Right? He has an amazing book called Freedom Mounds, and your butt will follow, or something like that. And it was an amazing, amazing book. You know what I'm saying? So look at this. These are earthworks. These are aerial glyphs, right? That you could only see from the sky, that the ancient ancestors here built into earthworks, right? They didn't have to destroy the foliage or the trees. This was already built in. These are like petroglyphs. You can only see them from the sky. Okay? This was called the Marching Bear Mound. Okay? Marching Bear Mound. Right? And think about it. They destroyed thousands of mounds. And still, there's thousands and thousands of more of them that are still here that have not been destroyed. And then they're going to have some in this back next to the 285, or what they call the Moreland Interstate, or what they also call Spaghetti Junction. You feel me? That place got mounds all through there. But now their gas companies, their sanitation dumps, they've built churches on top of them, right? They're not getting acknowledged as indigenous mounds. So there's going to be some that are accounted for. Kentucky got mad mounds. There's going to be some that are accounted for and a lot that are not. Feel me? Yeah, so what I also was saying, like, we were earth keepers, so we knew when to create mounds in certain vortexes, like titties on a planet. Like the breast might be the swelling of particular fluids or energy, right? And the woman starts developing them, and she carries that particular energy. It's the same thing with the earth and how we had to massage the earth and create mounds. Okay? This is how you work with the earth as an earth worker. This was our responsibility. If you are here, you are indebted, right? Or you're expected to be able to work with the earth that you live on. We done got far too away from what our responsibility is and our true calling because we are following a substrata species who is like totally oblivious to how this planet works. Feel me? They don't know nothing by their mission. Ask them anything. Truthfully. And they're going to tell you, yo, we really don't know. We don't know how this works. We don't know how that works. It's amazing they have gotten so far for thus far. You know, but it hasn't, you know, we've had a lot to play with that as well. The contributions that we made, we always telling them some shit to save them from the day, right? Because deep in your heart, you really love your children. You know, you'll abort your real children, but these stepchildren, you just can't let go of them. You can't abort these distant ass children of yours, but you're so quick to kill your own babies. And my apologies, that's insensitive. But I mean, it's a raw emotion, and as crazy as it sounds, and borderline disrespectful, it's kind of the truth. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that really hurts. It's kind of the truth. Why you can't let go of them? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the appeal at to this day? Did you feel that your life won't amount to anything? Y'all can't hear me? Oh, my bad. Somebody said they couldn't hear me. Yeah. I don't want to be disrespectful. Yes, Wild West Los Angeles, thank you. I'll repeat what he said. The Native Americans have nothing to do with the mounds. A true Mississippian now, referred to as the African American, is responsible for the mounds. Yes, that's so much. I said that the 500 nations, the indigenous people, when they came over here, said, I don't have anything to do with the mound building, right? I put that on record. I was very clear about that. And the people who are responsible for mound culture and civilization, again, genetically, we can say they are derived from the Mississippian culture. But what I said is that the Earth Keepers have an assignment, and you identify a person by their works. We're going to stop this shit about who's descendants of what. Fuck that shit. Nigga, if you're not doing the work, you're really not the descendants of them people. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody else could come along masquerading to look like you and do the shit that you're not willing to do and still be in position. Look at the Jews, nigga. Look at the Jews. Look at the Jews. Do you need a refresher? I'm not going to go through that history lesson, right? Look at the Native Americans to this day. So, again, there's a lot of people that's popping up on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and everybody's laying claim to foundational Black American or Mississippi or Tachimis or Aboriginal. Nigga, are you planting corn? Are you planting tobacco? Right? Do you have any indigenous ceremonies? Do you have anipes? Or do you do sweat lodges? Right? Do you know how to forage for indigenous medicines? Right? Are you building new mounds? rather than saying that those was your ancestors? Are you petitioning this government to get back your artifacts from the Smithsonian that they took out of the mounds? Feel me? So it's like, it's not no longer just enough to be like, yo, that's my people. It's like, no, do the work. Do the unfinished works of your people. You know what I'm saying? Or bang on whoever took the relics of your people away. Just they got your ancestry hidden in basements. It's time that we start knocking on some doors. And it's really time that we start revisiting these mounds and enacting and doing the ceremonial rituals that our ancestors would do. The mounds were for meetings, right? Then they had burial mounds. These mounds were for council. Again, and that's even like with the commission shit. Like, stop talking on the commission shit if you're not gonna live by the laws of Ma'at. Like, make it make sense today, right? Give it an update, refresh it, bring it up to date. Be that person. Harness that energy. Look at the pyramidal structures. We not even building pyramids. Shout out to Dr. York. He came down to Georgia and built a pyramid, and he built it next to the Etowah Mounds for a reason. For a reason, strategically. Ask anybody that knows. You feel me? Hence the fact that he was near Eagle Mound and he was near Etowah for a reason. Because he was restoring something that had already been done. There's pyramids all over this place. Right? But they don't show this to you. Okay? Grand Village of the Natchez. What is Natchez in Tennessee? Right? So they got pyramids in Tennessee? Huh? All of this Mississippian culture? Huh? And we got time to argue? Huh? Somebody going to tell them brothers up there in St. Louis, Missouri that they under a spell. That the land is under a spell. That the spinning and the murders and none of these things are going to stop. And these funerary cities, Cahokia was a site where all of the warriors met. That was like the Madison Square Garden. And that was like the Coliseum for the warriors. But this is where they strategize to go to war. So you got all of these brothers up in Chicago and Milwaukee and Wisconsin and Missouri, you know, and they're all part of this Mississippian war culture of our people, but they're not feeding the spirits of the land. You know what I'm saying? They're not feeding the spirits of the land. And the European is planting corn, right? Y'all niggas ever drove through Illinois? You ever drove through Indiana? You ever drove through Kentucky? Right? He knows how to harness the energy of Wakanda. Your melanin magic is not enough to tap into Wakanda, nigga. Wakanda is the spirit of the land of North America. That's Wakanda. Okay? So don't get fucking all excited because they got a movie coming out where now they got the Wakandans battling the Atlanteans. And they shot Black Panther 2 in Atlanta and the shit won't stop raining out here. Right? But for us, it's just, right? It's just entertainment for us. We never seem to fucking get it. It's just entertainment for us. And it's worth noting, yeah, that they got the curse on them too. Because they violated them people up in the Mount Kenya. Shout out to Ambassador Prince Michael. He'll tell you more about it. But those people are in error. Disney's in error. They got melanated faces playing this narrative out when they was warned and told, nigga, you should not be doing this. Y'all violated. They put things in the movie that was not supposed to be put in that movie. So, you know, they playing these games, man. And we just play along with them because it seems that we don't have nothing better to do. Find you something better to do other than playing these people's games. Please. Look at this. Look at all this mound culture. You feel me? And I'm not saying, oh, you don't got to go to Kemet. I'm saying, nigga, when you come back from Kemet, you know what I'm saying? Go and visit one of these places right here in the Americas so this shit can make a little bit more sense to you. And then you could transport the spirits over there to over here and let those spirits commingle. And then you could be a real fucking conduit for how to get your land back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then you might be inspired to actually build something. Nigga. What's the use of being foundational black and American with no land? You foundational black and American and you live in an apartment? We have to get the land back. We got to get the land back. You know what I'm saying? We have to get the land back by any and every means. And then once we get the land, we have to show that we know what to do with the land. How do you cultivate the land? Are you an agriculturist? Do you know how to farm? You know what I'm saying? Do you know where the water is at? Do you have links to people with aquifers? Right? They exist. They're in the community. I know a few, right? But these are the people that, you know, that other people in the community, y'all need to know. Y'all need to know who got the food, who got the water, who got the land. Yes, I do. Right? So, these are, again, all of this information for what? Because not only does it support my narrative, and what's my narrative? I'll be clear. My narrative is that not only is the sun, right, which I call the corona rising, I've been speaking about this since 2020. Not only is the sun waking up and activating something in you at a molecular level, but the land is awake. The land is also waking up. That's what I've been saying after I come back from these travels and these trips. I'm like, yo, the land is alive. The land got a whole nother energy. Is it a dragon on the bucket? No, this is gold water. It's a G for gold water. Some gold water drip. You know, gold water. So, it's not a dragon. But look, I do got a bee on my... It's a bee right here. So, mushroom breading. What is this? Which one of these black colleges? This is Alabama. Okay, shout out to Alabama State. Look, I got Alabama all along. Right, shout out to ASU. Yay, yay. Shout out to ASU. Right? So that's the premise that I'm saying. The fact that there's an aspect of the sun that's waking up and awakening us and waking something up in us, right? And then there's also an aspect of the land that is very much alive. The land is coming online. The land is awake. The land is activated. And with that said, let me qualify this by saying today is the last day of the Mayan calendar. And by saying this the last day of the Mayan calendar, it also, you know, is saying it's the last day of the Olmec calendar. Right? Today is the last day of their calendar. And tomorrow is considered a day at a time. Now, why is this important? Because we are in the Americas. We are on this land considered a Maxim. Right? That's why it's important. Because, once again, I said the spirit of the land is Wakanda. Right? So how do we tap into it? How do we acknowledge it? Right? The fact that you on this land, we acknowledge the calendar systems. In the calendar systems, yes, these particular calendar systems tie back to the mother civilization of Mexico, which are the Olmec. And this is information I was taught when I went there, right? To Cozumel, when I went to the ruins, to the Mayan ruins, and I was taught this information by the Mayans themselves. And we have it on video on YouTube on Know the Ledge from 2012. Right? Shout out to our instructor. His name was Carlos. He know that's not his name. He said that. Feel me? But he gave it up. And he said all of this came from the Olmec civilization. Right? This was their calendar system. So in the Olmecian / Mayan calendar, the day out of time is tomorrow. It's the 0 point. It's the 0 day. It's the day that technically don't exist. And then their new year starts on July 26th, which will be Tuesday. So if we got time to follow Gregorian calendars and we want to tell people what year it is in Ethiopia and Kush, no disrespect, right? But again, your black ass should show respect to where you at. You are in the backyard of a system that was put together by your ancestors, once again, who came over here on a fucking boat. So stop being disrespectful, right? The conversation is a mute one. Somebody had to come somewhere to get here, point blank, period. Don't matter if they did it before slaves, before Columbus, right? They still came here and put something together. So the way that you acknowledge them is by participating in the shit that they put together. If you want to identify yourself as foundational, black, American, or Mexican, whatever, nigga, there's rules to this shit. There's a spirit to this land. There's an order put in place that's not motherfucking European, that the colonizer had nothing to do with, that you should be tapping into, especially if you laying claim to this land. Okay? Yes, and tomorrow's ground zero. It's the 0 day. So what would you do on a 0 day? What do you do on January 1st? Other than pop bottles and shoot at the sky. You got to find something else to do. I'm going to be out in nature. I'm going to be tapping into the land called America. The America the Beautiful. Right? Say her name right. Say her name right. Huh. America the Beautiful. I don't confuse the land with the people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be cursing America. Man, fuck America. I wish she died. No, we say burn down Babylon. Which is a whole nother conversation we got to revisit another time with the rabbi, AA. But, you know, we can say that. I don't chant anything ill on. I don't say fall to America. Granted, we know our elder was talking about a political system. That's not the land. The land has never done anything to you. The land has provided for you. America, the land, the soil, right? The continental tapestry of the land, right? That land has never done anything to you. People have usurped the land and put their name on it, or took your name from you, and you identify a name that has been designated with you with someone else who you call by your name. That part. Right? That part. So that's the only thing that's been going on with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't chastise, be very careful with your words. You don't want to chastise America. America has been nothing but giving. America has been nothing but comforting. America has fed you. America has housed you. America has given you cover. America has showed you favor. Right? And you had so much of a genetic disposition that you was able to domesticate aspects of America that were once considered wild. Feel me? You got a relationship with this land that has yielded some beautiful things. We have raised beautiful children off of this land. Strong children, powerful. Don't chastise, don't castigate, America. No, they fought wars to protect the United States. They fought wars to protect the Confederacy. They fought wars to protect the colonizer. It's not America. And America's not a country. It's a continent. And again, it shows our willingness to be indoctrinated by the colonizer to think so much of ourselves that you would dare call this country America, negating the fact that the rest of the continent is also called America. Because what? When in Rome, you do as Romans do. And Rome thinks that it's the only thing that matters on the planet. Right? So we like, oh, the Americans. No, nigga, you are not Americans. They're not Americans. Maybe you are, but not them. Right? And again, it's just like what the church does with the name of Christ, the way that it has bastardized that name, has violated that name. Like, you are not in honor of that name. The things that you do in that name show disrespect to that name. You have desecrated that name. And it's the same thing that colonizer has done with the beautiful name of America. You have desecrated that name. In her name, you have done abominable things. You feel me? You don't deserve to be called that, to be put in the same sentence. You don't deserve to be put in the same sentence as this beautiful land. Yeah. We know who you are. And Americans, you are not. That part. So, yes, tomorrow's a 0 point day. Be mindful of that. Move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I will find myself rising with the sun and doing some sort of salutation ceremony where I'm thankful for this 0 point day. I want to receive the energy that comes in on a 0 point. July 25th is the day in 2020 that me and A.A. Rashid did our lecture called the DMT. It was DMT, TMD. I'm trying to figure this shit out. Hold on. Damn, what was that lecture called? DMT? TMD? Nonetheless, it was on July 25th of 2020. That was a monumental lecture. It was paradigm shifting, and it opened a lot of portals. And I even remember a story that came out that morning that got downplayed, and they never revisited this story. They had took a picture of a orbiter that appeared in front of the sun, and this orbiter was a black cosmic cube, right? It was a black cosmic cube. And to me, that was very telling, because 2020 was shaping up to be the great conjunction year, December 21st, 2020, when Jupiter and Saturn meet in the same, orbit for the first time in that position for over 800 or 8,000 years, one of them joints. Don't quote me, but you can Google it. Nonetheless, Saturn, is the black box, and Jupiter's big, right? Those are the motifs that it stands for. Jupiter's huge. Jupiter means expansion. It means something enormous. Saturn, we know what Saturn stands for, but its glyph is, if we was to think about this, its symbol, it would be a black box. So I found that very interesting that they showed this particular cosmic, thing that was taking place in front of the sun, this black box that was passing in front of the sun. And then the story got swept under the rug. It was a very deep story, because the box that they saw was huge. I'm going to pull that story up and what have you. But, yeah, shout out to Red and AA. They in LA right now doing a master class. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the family. Shout out again to the family that will be joining us. Shout out to the family that joined us this rising. You know, we got our good our 13th installment of our Sunday service. Lion Gates Ministries and Mineral Ministries presents Sunday service. It was epic. And yes. Can't wait for the next one. But again, shout out to the family that's planning on coming out this Thursday. We're doing our grand opening this Thursday. So that's gonna be Thursday. It's gonna be epic. And then the Friday after that, the next day, we'll be doing the meet and greet for the Return of the Gods. You know what I'm saying? And again, this was the book that we were showing. You might want to tap in and get you your own illustrated encyclopedia of Native American Indian mounds and earthworks. That is, if you're into the earthworks, if you're into working with the earth, if you're into working with the grid points of the planet, if you're into really tapping into this indigenous aspects of what it actually means to be a quote-unquote American, because the people who was over here were all about ceremony and ritual. You know, they was getting it in. You know what I'm saying? So I would think that if you want to identify with them as your ancestors, see, this is Serpent Mound, that you would actually be willing to do some of the things that your ancestors did, right? And your ancestors were into cosmic observation, right? Observing the stars in the skies to get their information, not only by way of downloads, by concise measurements, right? Knowing when, particular astrological alignments happen, utilizing these earthbound glyphs to trace the stars. This is Serpent Mound. You can find all the equinoxes and solstices, right? We were able to tell the entire sky calendar utilizing this particular edifice called the Serpent Mound, right? And this is how it looks from the aerial. Okay? And I visited this mound in 2010. Right? An amazing mound. Right? Ohio is just amazing, period. But Cahokia, Carbondale, Illinois, that's going to be a grand spot in April 8th, 2024, when the total solar eclipse happens again, and it crisscrosses the country. So the line that ran through the northernmost part, Ohio, Oregon, and all of the rest of them in 2017, that line is going to be crisscrossed, and this line is going to run through parts of Illinois, in particular Carbondale. Shout out to the Carbondale. Shout out to the Moors that's out there. They know who they are. Shout out to the family. Yeah, but Tennessee, whew. Right? Look, Bledsoe Fort, right? That's Tennessee. Look at that glyph, right? Look how far up they made it. Don't let nobody tell you no lie. right? Look how far up they made it. Don't let nobody tell you no lie. Okay? Don't let nobody tell you no lie. Yes, so when I went to Serpent Mound in 2010, I got a series of books by a gentleman named Ross Hamilton. You could even Google today. I think I found one of the books about the Giants that Ross Hamilton wrote. It's a PDF online. You can find one of them if you're lucky enough. But you can't find his books. The Smithsonian shut him down, right? He cannot be published by any credible, quote unquote, the publishing houses are all, all these people work together. Like, the shit got shut down, but he got all the information in his books that you can find in the library at the Mound, in their gift shop. And all of his books speak about the information of the giants of this land, right? All the evidence that they found with the skulls that are two sizes, the size of our normal skulls, with 2 rows of teeth. They call them giants. You can find them in Akron, Ohio. Hence the fact that when they saw the giant from Akron, they knew exactly what they were looking at. You feel me? They knew exactly what they were looking at, because all of the majority of the giants, the Adena, the Hopewell, the Lenape. No, there wasn't Lenape, because the Lenapes were what defeated the giants, according to this folklore. Right? But this is Chuckalisa, baby. Yo, why they straight up got a town called Chuckalisa? Yeah. So shout out to the P Valley watchers. It's in Memphis.
Oh, in Memphis.
Yeah. Y'all know what Chuckalisa is if you watch P Valley. And they be talking about the mounds on P Valley as well. So shout out to them at least for that. Katori, right? At least you squeeze that in because you borrowed the name, right? But yeah, Chuckalisa, where P Valley is at, where it runs through, that part of the Mississippi, yeah, it was an ancient mound civilization, okay, in Memphis, right? The funerary city. Look at it, god damn it. Everywhere the motherfucking people is trapping out of control and the murder sprees is going haywire by melanated people in particular, is the very place where the land has been built on cemeteries of their ancestors. Yeah, this is not an open invitation to watch P Valley. Please do not get it twisted. I ain't sending nobody over there. Take my word for it, all right? They was talking about mounds and that shit. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Please don't do it to yourself, okay? Right? Mad shit in Tennessee, right? Tennessee, everywhere that they cutting up at. I wonder why. Because your city was built on a funerary city, right? Hawaii Island mounds. Look at these. All of these pyramidal structures. Right? Right? This is Tennessee. Right? Lebanon Mounds. Right? It's more Tennessee. Shout out to my Tennessee family. Shout out to my Tennessee family. Right? Y'all is on ancient land. It's really time to start tapping into the spirits of these ancient lands. So you can massage these lands and really start working with the energy and Long Island Mounds, Tennessee. Look at that. I had no idea. The survey of the Long Island Mounds. Whoa, this is deep. That caught me off guard. Woo! Shout out to the family. Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island, back home in New York, is known as, all of that is Long Island. And the Long Island, right, is governed by what's called the 5 civilized tribes, of which the Montauk were the highest civilization. That was the father tribe, if you will, with the Shinnecock, who I believe that some aspect of my people come from, derived from, as well as the Wyandanch. These are areas where, you know, some of our hip hop greats come from, like Rakim. You know, Rakim come from Wyandanch. You know, Brentwood, all of the places where these electrifying MCs come from, these were all parts of very much highly contested indigenous lands. Because these indigenous elders and families over here on that side, you know, I ain't gonna get into it, but the Shinnecock, you know, they never were defeated. You know what I'm saying? Like, these is not no soft ass Indians. Like, these people fought. Right? Wyandanch. Wyandanch was the name of one of the sons, and it became a name of one of the tribes. That's a part of Long Island, where Rakim and them come from. Right? But the whole Long Island was governed by indigenous tribes, 5 civilized tribes. And then they got another rendition of the 5 civilized tribes when you come down south. That's a whole nother 5 civilized tribe. Right? So, yeah, I mean, we could be here forever. It's thousands of mounds, literally. Right? There's so much information about your people that you just not tapped into. Whether that's on that side of the pond or whether that's over here. That's whether I'm talking about your folks that was in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, nigga. You not even really tapped into your kinfolk that was in the 90s and the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? We just owe it to ourselves to be like, let's dig a little bit deeper. Let's look a little bit further. You know what I'm saying? We came here laying it down. We left a lot to be rediscovered. If that's your quest, if your plight is to know thyself on that level, then there's a lot of places that you can potentially be looking, right? And again, my acknowledgement of one place is not my unacknowledgement of another. So this is not to dismiss or bemoan anybody who's into their African ancestry. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, find all parts of you. They scattered a saw into 14 pieces, my nigga. Like, why stop there? You feel me? There's a lot that you have to uncover. Don't say that you came to this planet to undo injustice, nigga. You'll be chasing your tail for 50 lifetimes. Right? It's like, you know, whatever you want to do, knock yourself out. I'm just saying, this is some qualified information that you might want to tap into, especially if you waving a flag saying that you're American. That's all. You got a responsibility, right? For which you will be rewarded. You can tap in and gain more access. And if the shit did not have no power in it, the colonizer wouldn't be fucking around with it at all. Because they don't be hanging around wasting time. They appreciate time because they don't have that much. So watch how they move when they get around time, nigga. You don't find them doing shit that don't make sense. Especially if it's a way to tap into her extra power to subjugate your ass a little bit extra hour. They don't do that. They don't waste time. Feel me? So if it's good enough for them to study and to hold down and to subjugate and to keep secret, then that's doors that you should be knocking on and kicking down, unearthing the skull and the bones of your ancestors. Okay? So